Lots of homes that we need to get built, so...
On a tour of a construction academy in Sunderland today, the Education Secretary admitted, after days of speculation, that the government was considering a key climb down, scrapping the two-child benefit cap that so many of its MPs and even Cabinet oppose. Fresh off the back of a U-turn on winter fuel payments, Labour backbenchers are smelling blood, and this policy, so unpopular in its ranks, looks next to go.
We'll look at every way that we can bring down child poverty, because we think it's completely wrong that far too many children in our country grow up in poverty. But Nigel Farage isn't on the side of working people.
What's Farage got to do with it? Well, he's taken advantage of this sleepy recess week in Westminster to pitch himself as a pro-family and pro-worker politician, as well as slayer of the Tory party.
They are dying as a political party. It's over.
But today was about outdoing Labour by saying he'd scrap the cap, restore universal winter fuel payments and give tax breaks to married couples. He also repeated his big-ticket and much more expensive manifesto pledge of no income tax for those earning less than £20,000, saying all this was costed over 5 years, with cuts to quangos, asylum accommodation and diversity initiatives, even if he was irked by suggestions of a magic money tree.
All right, you started it. The cost of net zero to the taxpayer, figures produced by the Institute of Government, are estimated between 2025 and 2030 to cost £45 billion every single year.
Nigel Farage said he'd be able to make a whopping £350 billion worth of savings, the majority through his flagship policy of scrapping net zero funding, something he said was set to cost the taxpayer £45 billion a year. But here's the rub. The majority of that money will come from private investment. And so we have this key figure today that's based perhaps on a misunderstanding. So said the Institute for Government today, which wrote that report. We put this to Reform and asked for their costings. They wouldn't show us, but said they were very confident in their figures.
I struggle to think of a time when a government has made public spending cuts of quite the scale that Reform seem to be talking about, and were talking about in their last election manifesto. That doesn't mean that it couldn't be done, but doing it certainly wouldn't be painless. I wouldn't say it's impossible to raise those sums of money, but the way those are described perhaps doesn't bring home some of the consequences that might happen if you cut back that amount of money.
That Reform, boosted by its local election success, would lay out costings so far from a general election, speaks of its ambition to escape the strictures of the two-party system, something that rankles a Labour government now on the defence, on the right and on its own benches.